Welcome to the Discover Universal podcast. My name is Dylan.
And I'm Cassie.
And today we are talking about the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, right?
Yeah, and more specifically, we are talking about the attraction inside of that area, Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry, which looks incredible. I mean, from what we've seen with the preview footage.
Yeah, and it seems like the story is going to be complex, and they do a good job of almost giving you a new favorite every single time.
They do.
Yeah, so right now my favorite is Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. Do you have a favorite?
Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure is my favorite, which we just rode recently as a group, which was a lot of fun. And I am a bike person.
Yeah, I'm a sidecar.
Okay.
Yeah, it feels cozy. It's like I'm in bed, but like I'm still...
I get that. I get that. And Michelle's with us too. Michelle, do you have a favorite attraction?
I do. I love Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
It is.
Each ride vehicle is totally different.
Completely different.
Yeah.
They are. Well, that's one thing I'm excited to ask our guests today about is just learning more about what that ride vehicle is like, what the story is like, because from that preview video, it's we don't know. We don't know how this is going to work.
But
I mean,
every single time it's different, which is great.
Well, and that's the cool thing about Universal Epic Universe as a whole is just there's so many different groundbreaking things happening there with the attractions, with the worlds as a whole. And I mean, this one's going to be no different.
Oh, absolutely. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Well, before we get started, I think we should guess which Hogwarts house Kim from Universal Creative is. What
Ravenclaw, calling it. Too easy. Too easy.
I think she's going to be Hufflepuff just like me, but I don't know. Michelle, do you have a guess?
Maybe Gryffindor.
No.
I feel like this attraction just screams Gryffindor to me.
Okay.
No, we can only be the two Gryffindors.
Okay.
Everyone else. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, Team Gryffindor
I mean,
over
maybe
here.
she's Slytherin. We don't know.
No.
Well, that's one of the first questions we'll have to ask her because, I mean, that just tells so much about a person.
Absolutely.
So that's a good way to get to know her. So
Yeah.
we'll have to find out. But let's bring Kim in from Universal Creative and talk all things Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry.
Let's do it. Well, today we have someone super special here who's on the team for this amazing new attraction that we're opening up here at Universal Epic Universe. Kim, do you mind introducing yourself?
My name is Kim Gritzer, and I am the creative director for Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry.
Ooh,
okay.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How long have you been with Universal for?
8 years.
Okay, so have you worked on any of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter attractions?
Yes, I was the art director for Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure.
Well, good
Great
job.
work.
Yeah, we rode that yesterday, right?
We did. And every single time I feel like I personally go on it, it's just like the first time again. It's absolutely fantastic. So wonderful job.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a phenomenal attraction.
Yeah.
Yes.
Shout out to the sidecar. I appreciate it. That's my favorite.
Yes, I love the bike. I mean, they're both pretty awesome, but the car in general is just absolutely amazing. But Kim, we were taking some bets earlier about which Hogwarts house you are a part of. Which one are you in?
Slytherin.
Okay.
That was not what I guessed.
I told you. I told you not to forget about Slytherin.
I guessed Ravenclaw.
Slytherin has some really great qualities.
They do.
I mean, ambition, cunning.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I wish I was, but, you know, Gryffindor's got me.
Yeah.
Sorting hat. You can't go
I feel like we all kind of wish we were a part of Slytherin deep down.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. So today we're talking about Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry. Can you describe from start to finish what this experience is like? Like, what is the ride vehicle like? All those details.
You guys sent me that question, and it gave me a little bit of anxiety because I have never been able to describe the attraction in a short amount of time. But I can definitely...
I got time.
I can give you the highlights.
I got time.
Perfect.
So there's... we're going to start off in the load station. The queue, we'll just call it the first half of the ministry. So the entire attraction takes place in the Ministry of Magic. The queue is phenomenal, and we can get into that a little later. But after you go through the queue, you descend these stairs into this really unique kind of tall space, which is the lift lobby. And it's very representative of what you see in the film. So when you see them go to the lift lobby and then get on their lifts, that's what we've built for our load station. And it's this multi-leveled rotunda surrounded by all of these lift bays, which is super cool. And then you are guided into one of 4 lift bays, and that's when you are ushered onto your lift. So your lift is meant to take you to the trial of Dolores Umbridge. So that's going to transport you to the courtrooms. And it's very special. It's designed after the lifts that you see in the film. So it's got this like beautiful brass paneling. But it's it's very unique. Our lift is unique. First of all, it's a lot bigger. It seats 14 people.
Okay.
So
Whoa.
it's a little roomier than what you see in the films. And there are seats, and the seats are very comfy and elegant and stylish. It gave it this really unique kind of private mini theater quality. So you sit in the lift, and when we sat in it for the first time in what we call our Article 1 mock-up, we just felt like, oh my God, we are ready for a show.
And it felt right.
And it felt right.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is awesome. So it's just it's an absolutely gorgeous ride vehicle. There's also a lot of cool lighting features in it. So there's a lift shaft map, which is kind of modeled after the London Underground subway maps.
Cool.
And it has these pathways and locations that light up on your journey. So you'll get to see that as you travel through the ministry.
Awesome. That's so cool. Well, I feel like we were talking about this premiere video for the Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic, and we saw a little bit of a preview of this attraction and just seeing those lifts go up and down all around. I mean, we were like, how in the world is this going to happen? So thank you for shedding some light on that.
Yeah.
And, you know, the cool thing about all of the attractions within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter as well is they're all very deeply story-based. Of course, they are inspired by these films that we know and love.
Yeah.
And so we have to ask you about some of these characters that we're going to see in the attraction. Who can we expect to come across?
Well, you will see Harry, Ron, and Hermione, of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
That we lovingly refer to as the trio.
Yep.
And then you will see Higgledy. And Higgledy, we are introducing Higgledy. She's a brand new character. She is Dolores Umbridge's former house elf.
Okay.
And she is very happy that Umbridge is on trial today because she was, as you can imagine, very mistreated by Umbridge. She's an absolutely sweet, charming, brave house elf. And you get to know her throughout the attraction, and you also get to know her in the queue. And then there are Death Eaters. So we've got a few Death Eaters around.
Nice.
Kingsley Shacklebolt, you will see, who is the Minister for Magic at this time. And then we've got Dolores Umbridge herself.
So it sounds like you described a lot of characters. Would you be against giving us a full in-depth of the story of this entire thing?
The story of the attraction is that Dolores Umbridge is on trial for her crimes against the Wizarding World. And she's she's a very hateful person, as we know.
Too many rules.
Yeah, but her general crimes is that she sent Muggles to Azkaban for no reason. And that's pretty terrible.
Yeah.
So she's on trial. And that's a big deal in the ministry. So we all are going to witness the trial. So we get on our lifts, and then we travel through the lift shafts, and we get this really beautiful view of the vastness of the ministry. So there's a lot of activity, lots of people going. We run into Harry, Ron, and Hermione, who are traveling to the trial. And everything's generally fine until it's not. And when we hear an explosion and we happen to turn and run right into a Death Eater who has broken into the lift that is transporting Umbridge. And she escapes in a plume of pink smoke right in front of us.
Of course it would be
right?
pink.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes. Then we get blasted, we fall through the lift shafts, and then we almost collide with Harry, Ron, and Hermione again. And then they recruit us to find and stop Umbridge before she gets her hands on a time turner. Because what she wants to do is get back to the time of Lord Voldemort when things were generally better for her.
Right.
Makes sense.
Not
Yeah.
as good for everyone else.
Yeah.
No.
So
No.
That's
we don't
awesome.
want that.
So then it's like a literal chasing Umbridge through the ministry. And we get to go to all of these new departments and spaces in the ministry that we've never seen before in the films, which was very exciting for us to create. There's the Magical Archives, for example, which is this cavernous library with like towering cabinets and piles of paper stacks. And then there's a Death Eater battle that is going on there, and we are right smack dab in the middle of it. And so we get to see our heroes engaged in a Death Eater battle, and then we get attacked by Death Eaters. So we're very much involved in this whole adventure. We get to go to the Department of Magical Creatures, and because of the chaos, all of the creatures are stampeding, running amok. And then we may happen to travel into some very restricted areas of the ministry. And, Umbridge may or may not get her hands on a time turner and misuse it.
Of course.
Oh,
Look.
And then I can't tell you what happens.
you're just
I feel
gonna
that you want
have
to.
to. You're
I
just
can
gonna
feel
have
it.
to
I
ride
I
it
can't
to
tell
find
you
out.
what happens when there's time turner chaos, but you're going to know.
Oh
Okay.
boy, I can only imagine. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
And how long did this so that's really complex. How long did it take to come up with all this material? Like, what is the process like to craft this story?
And it's like many, many, many years of development and
Years.
yeah. Oh yes. Yeah. And it starts off with a lot of story iteration, and then looking at what the experience is going to be. And so you have you propose a bunch of different storylines and places you want to go, and then that just kind of continues to solidify and evolve over time. And we work with Warner Brothers and TBP, our partners, to really help make sure that we're in line with the stories that we want to tell, especially in Harry Potter. So just, lots of story, not only story iterations, but design, like ride system iterations.
Yeah.
Like first you kind of think about the experience you want. So, I mean, the Ministry of Magic really has been on our minds for a while. I mean, that's a location that everybody wants to visit. And then when you think of traveling in the ministry, it was pretty logical that the lift system, those elevators, the kind of what you see in the films, the really fun, wild motion, like what can you do with that? Like there's so much. And so we went through several systems on how to get there, but it just takes a lot of time and change. And
You probably had 1,000 versions
a
of
thousand
different
versions
stories you wanted to tell.
of stories,
Yeah.
and then once you get there, it is it's pretty cool, and then it just defines the whole experience. So,
Yeah.
and then you have to do things like mock-ups, right? So you come up with a scene, and then you're like, all of these things are going to work together in this way, and then you have to see it physically and do what you can to make sure that what you're thinking about is actually going to work. And so thousands of hours of mock-ups as well. Yeah.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, and I feel like thinking about the wizarding world of Harry Potter, these characters, again, going back to that, the way that they're brought to life in these attractions, it's so diverse. And so can you give us a tease at all about how these characters are going to be visualized? I know we have a lot of animated figures that we see at different attractions. Are you able to tease a little bit about how we'll see them?
Sure. You will see them in a few ways. So they are in the media, and they will also be physical as well.
Well, tell us about the queue, too. You kind of teased a little bit about that, but what can we experience? Again, watching that preview video, I mean, lots of beautiful green, lots of just amazing tall ceilings, and, what, again, can we see walking through that queue before we get to the attraction?
The ministry is such a beautiful, grand space. So one of the things we really wanted to capture was when Harry he descends from the phone booth and he steps out into the ministry, and his jaw just drops. And that is what we wanted to capture. And so you will be able to see the ministry fully built, to scale, the flue corridor and the atrium, and you'll be completely immersed in that. Now, the ministry in the films like expands and expands. It like seemingly goes on forever. And we found ways to create that illusion that there is this expansiveness up and then out of the ministry. The queue starts off in the Metro Flu, and it is a way of mass transit for wizards and everyone throughout the wizarding world. When you flew in the wizarding world, you step into a fireplace, and then you are engulfed in green flames and smoke, and then you are magically transported. So we actually get to do this in our attraction and in the queue. And so you go into the Paris Metro Flu, and then you queue for a little bit, and then you turn the corner, and you see this row of like 5 gorgeous, huge fireplaces. And then you are ushered into one of the 5 fireplaces. And then the minute that you step in, you're immediately surrounded with this blast of green smoke. I did the mock-up for the first time. And when I stepped through, I couldn't stop laughing. And like one of my colleagues said, Kim disappeared. And then you could just hear me laughing. And I walked out and I'm like, that was the best. That was the best.
My
Like
gosh.
people are going to love it. It's a bit of a little tunnel journey. And then you actually experience that effect again right before you step into the beautiful flue corridor of the ministry.
So you get it twice.
You get it twice.
Oh,
I'm down.
perfect.
Twice.
So
Down.
I don't have
then
to
when
do
you
it over
exit.
and over again.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Obviously, one of the defining factors of the Ministry of Magic is the color and the scale of that room, and like how that all works. What was it like? This sounds weird. What was it like picking out the tiles?
It was very interesting, and it was it was hard work actually, because we had to go to Leavesden. So in Leavesden, in the studio tour, they did build part of the ministry. They had it from the original sets. So we originally went there and compared color, grabbed color swatches, and started from there. And so we did a lot of samples and research on how to get that same color. And it's not just green, there's a gradient to that color. So it was all about like, which way does the gradient go? How much of it do we have? And that was a lot of research. But it was absolutely worth it.
It's a weird
because
thing to nerd out about, but I
beautiful.
like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you
Yeah.
know how many tiles you all used?
I do. I cannot remember, but we did
A
the
lot.
calculation. Yes, there's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
As we can tell again from that video, you can kind of see some of the detail there
Yeah,
inside of it.
because you were saying earlier that it's the largest to scale that's ever been done, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so I would
Yeah.
imagine that's a ton of tiles.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's not just the flue corridor and the atrium. There's so many different rooms and departments that you go through in the queue in the ministry. And so some that you have seen in the films, like the typing pool, but some that we have created, which are super cool. But then the tile also changes color throughout. So at first it's green, then it goes to purple, and then once you get to Dolores Umbridge's office, it then becomes this sickly pink.
Of
So-
course. Why not? Why not? Okay.
Of course. Are there cats in her office?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay. We're excited. Michelle's clapping her
excited.
hands
Yeah.
over here. We're
Loves cats.
looking forward to the cats.
Yeah,
That's
I'm a
awesome.
dog guy. Dog guy. Fluffy.
Yes.
Fluffy all day.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, you mentioned too, this attraction is family friendly. So do you have any stats in terms of just height requirements? Is there child swap? What can families look forward to?
Yes, the minimum height requirement is 40 inches. And there is child swap for sure, and that it's also ADA accessible.
So is there anything else in terms of just developing this ride you did for research or planning or creation that you feel like fans would be super excited to hear about?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we do, in our attraction, there's a mixture of physical and media. And for the media, we did do a film shoot at Leavesden Studios, which was extremely exciting. And then we had Dame Imelda Staunton, who is the character of Dolores Umbridge, participate, and it was just a phenomenal experience. She was so excited to be Umbridge again. And when we pitched her the idea, she just was like, "Oh, this is amazing. I love this." She was so professional and kind, and she absolutely understood the scenes. And in fact, she even kind of brought more to it and had a lot of suggestions about what Dolores Umbridge would do in the situations. And she ad-libbed some lines, and of course we kept them because they were perfect.
Yeah.
So it was just a really great experience. Like, she doesn't need to be directed on how to be Dolores Umbridge. And it's funny because she really is this incredibly kind, sweet person. And then to see that transformation from this sweet person to this like really sadistic, evil person was just amazing to see.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I have to know too, after working on both of these attractions now within the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, are you still like shocked, surprised? Is it still a pinch me moment? Because I feel like doing all of these different activities in the development phase, I'd be like on the floor, passing out from all this stuff. It's so
I feel
cool.
like that just riding the rides.
Yeah.
Just that is enough. So
When you're in it, you're doing the work, and you're just like, I'm just doing the work, and you're just creating the best thing that you can possibly create, and you just kind of keep your head down and keep going. But then the moment that you see other people experiencing it and the joy that you see on their faces, that's when it turns, and you're like, this is amazing. And then to bring your friends and family and just experience the joy, there's nothing like it.
I can only imagine.
I can only imagine.
Oh,
That's
man.
wild to see
That's so
something
cool.
see something that you've put so much planning into, and then see people get to experience that for the first time. It's almost like you get to experience that for the first time with them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Again, we're just so excited to see that come together, and it looks absolutely incredible. I know this is one of the attractions I'm most looking forward to at Universal Epic Universe. But Kim, we have to do some rapid fire with you. Are you ready to go through a couple quick questions that we have for you over the attraction?
Yes, I'll do my best.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
So what is your favorite part of this attraction?
The Rumpant, which I can't talk about.
Talk about. Understandable.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Is that also what stands out to you the most, or is there a visual element that really sticks out to you?
Yes, that is what stands out to me the most. But I think generally the environments overall, they're absolutely beautiful and massive and detailed.
What is the thing you're most excited about for guests to see?
The new spaces in the ministry.
Okay.
And again, just how amazing they are, but also the characters, and especially like the Death Eaters are also very phenomenal.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Rumpet again.
And
And that too.
yes,
I
and
mean,
the
that's
Rumpet.
the big
This
secret.
is very hard. And I saw that when you're like, what's the most exciting part? I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't know, you
All
guys.
of it.
It's
All
just,
of it.
it's amazing.
I know. I
Yeah.
feel like our heads, like going
Yeah.
into this conversation, we're just like, we have so many questions. Like, we're looking forward to so many things.
Yeah.
So it's going to be incredible. Well, speaking of guests too, who is this attraction for? Who can ride it? Who's going to enjoy it the most?
Mostly everybody. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Family friendly.
It's family friendly.
We love that.
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, Kim, it was really awesome having you here, and you telling us all the tea, if you will. And on behalf of the Discover Universal podcast, we want to say thank you for all the work that you've done, because we're
Yes.
super excited to see it.
Thank you so much. Yeah,
Well done.
I'm very excited for everyone to experience this. It's something that I think Universal will be very, very proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll have to go in 2025 and maybe ride with you.
Oh,
What do you say?
yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll do that.
I'm in.
We'll make
Okay,
sure we're
sweet.
there. Opening
we'll
day.
save the date.
I'll point out all the details and
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's going to even expand our knowledge even further. We need
Exactly.
that. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kim, for being here.
Thank you so much.
I feel like the luckiest man alive that I got to experience all that information from Kim.
I know. She was so detailed, not only about the story, but also about the technical side of things. I feel like we got an inside look at a Universal creative day in the life with that.
And now I know that I'm going to see the trio, which is what I'm most excited about. Seeing Harry, Ron, and Hermione on the ride is going to be amazing.
Well, that's the cool thing about these attractions at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. We get to see these characters that we know and love from the books and the movies come to life in this attraction, in the world in general, in this land specifically. And this is no different, I feel like.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, there's so many different things I'm looking forward to within this, but the queue itself
is
going to be
what you're most excited
so
for?
incredible. Yeah. Seeing those tiles face to face. I mean, she told us all about the details of how they brought those tiles, kind of inspired from the films. It's going to be beautiful, and I'm going to take a lot of photos in that queue.
I'll see you in there.
I'm looking forward to it. Well, Dylan, thank you so much for being here with me today on the podcast, as always.
Thank you, Cassie.
We had an amazing guest. Thank you to her. Thank you to Michelle. Thank you to our amazing team here. And thank you for listening. Of course, we have all the details on Universal Epic Universe, as well as Harry Potter and the Battle at the Ministry in the description. Make sure to check that out. Visit our website for more details. And we'll see you next time on the Discover Universal podcast.
It's you.
Hey, Cassie, I'm Dylan, and welcome to Discover Universal.
You started.
Okay, sure. Hey,
Okay.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.